Many people feel unworthy of being loved. It's rather unfortunate just how common this is. There are a lot of broken people out there who feel unlovable, like they're unworthy of receiving love and affection from others. And this does make sense because it usually stems from bad parenting, from a child being raised in an environment where they didn't feel loved, they didn't get much affection, they basically felt like they didn't matter. And that can also be due to them having one or both parents absent as well. You know, this is why so often you hear the term daddy issues thrown around, because a father figure is incredibly important for someone to be raised in a healthy way. And in the absence of that, it can kind of break a child. So it really is important that both parents are in the picture and that both of them know how to raise a child in a good way. But unfortunately, as we all know, the public schooling system does not teach people how to raise children. So like nobody knows what the hell to do. They don't work on themselves in the first place to be able to fix their own issues so they can then raise a child and not basically project their issues onto the child and then raise a broken child. And yeah, you can tell I'm passionate about this because it's really annoying to see all these cycles of suffering and nobody fixes them because very few people want to work on themselves because yeah, it's difficult. And then there's nothing in the education system to try to break these cycles of suffering either. So you just have all this pain and suffering in the world and it's not really getting fixed. But anyway, that was a bit bleak. My whole point with making this video is I want to discuss broken people like this, people who feel unlovable, like they're unworthy of receiving love and affection from others, because my goal here is, well, I'll share a few tips to help you if you believe you fall into that category yourself, but I also just want to raise awareness for people who do work on themselves and are in that healthy spot that, hey, you're probably not going to be able to save someone like this. So for the most part, you can try to steer someone in the right direction. You can try to give them the resources to be able to work on themselves, but you generally want to avoid people who feel unlovable because you're not going to be able to save them. But anyway, okay, so knowing that this is usually caused by a child being raised in an environment where they aren't loved, they feel like they aren't getting affection, they feel like they don't matter, then the way to fix this is to work on loving yourself. Because if you don't do this, what you're basically going to do is whenever you encounter someone who takes an interest in you and starts showering you with love and affection in a healthy way, you're going to think something's wrong with them because you have a bad image of yourself, right? Like you probably think, I have nothing to offer. There's nothing good about me. I don't know why anyone would like me or take an interest in me because I'm nobody. I'm worthless. I have nothing of value to give someone else. And that very mentality will make whoever falls for you get hurt because you're probably going to turn away from them and think there's something wrong with you. Like, I'm broken. I don't know why you can't see that. I don't know why you're taking an interest in me. So I'm going to shove you away or run in the opposite direction. And now you're going to be left there thinking, what did I do wrong? Like, why are they running away from me when I was showing them healthy love and affection? And that's an issue. You do not want to run away from the people who would actually be capable of creating healthy relationships with you. Because quite often, if you have been in that situation where you were raised in that unloving environment, you are going to be attracted to people who treat you poorly because that's going to be what you believe you deserve. You're not going to think that you deserve to be treated better, that you deserve to be loved, that you deserve for someone to view you as being a great person and to want you to be happy, to treat you in a way that will lead to you becoming happier over time. So you really need to work on creating a better self-image. And the way to do that is with self-love. And no, that doesn't mean like, it's not like a literal thing. It's not like becoming a narcissist or selfish or anything like that. What self-love pretty much is, at least to me, is all about working on the way you treat yourself, primarily up here with your thoughts, because we all know we can think ourselves into absolute oblivion. I mean, remember what I was saying earlier about how quite often people who feel unlovable, they don't think highly of themselves. Like they have a really bad self-image. That's created up here, right? So that's what you need to work on. You need to work on the way that you view yourself and the way that you talk to yourself with your thoughts. So what you want to start doing is focusing on projecting a better light on yourself, on thinking about what good qualities do you actually have. And be honest with yourself. Don't be humble here. We all have good qualities, every single one of us. Think about them. What are they? Maybe you've shoved them away into some corner of your mind in a little box that you've thrown chains over and whatnot. Well, break those chains, open the box, and find out what is good about yourself. Stop being like so humble and acting like you have nothing of value to offer the world, or being so insecure that you ignore them. No, you have good qualities. I know this because almost everyone does to some extent, unless they're like an absolutely horrible person, but even they have like good qualities. It's just they use them for the wrong thing. So yeah, everyone has good qualities. So you need to figure out what those are, bring them to the forefront of your mind, and remind yourself of that. Start basically treating yourself the way that you treat your best friends. You care about them, right? You want what's best for them. You want to make them become happier over time, right? Do that with yourself. Start being your own friend up here. If you have negative thoughts, if you start doubting yourself, recognize that those thoughts may not even be your own. What I mean here is that so often we're conditioned into the ways that we think. The ways that we are raised often create our thought patterns. So if you were raised in that environment where you felt unloved and your parents weren't supportive of you, you probably took on the way they treated you and started treating yourself in that same way with your thoughts. But if you were raised in a healthy, loving environment, you would think completely differently. So knowing that your thought patterns are not your own, they were created by your environment, that means you can reshape them. You can reframe the way that you think. You can reject all those old thought patterns because they're not even yours. They're a product of your environment. They're not you at the core, because you at the core would probably be very supportive of yourself because it's beneficial for you, right? Like that would be helpful for your own survival, for you to not doubt yourself, for you to not put yourself down. Instead, for your own survival, you'd want to cheer for yourself. You'd want to motivate yourself. You'd want to say, hey, you can do this thing. You can go out there and find that plant that you need to eat in order to survive. Or maybe if you require meat, you can go out there and have a successful hunt, or whatever it may be. Like thinking in positive ways is beneficial for our survival. So whenever we start going against that, it's usually because our environment turned us away from our own nature, our own instincts. So start rejecting those horrible thought patterns. But first you need to be able to notice them, right? So work on monitoring your thoughts more often. Just having that self-awareness, being able to catch yourself in the moment when you have those unhelpful thought patterns. And you can train yourself by just checking in more often throughout the day. So like maybe set a timer on your phone for like every half an hour, every 15 minutes, whatever works well for you, to then ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? What am I feeling? That will give you self-awareness because you'll be checking in with your thoughts more often in the way that you feel, to even know what the hell you're thinking and what the hell you're feeling in most moments. It'll allow you to have the awareness of those things, so now you can monitor them and be able to reframe them. So if you catch yourself having negative thoughts, what you should do, reject that thought and now chime in with a new thought that will be you, your own. Chime in with a positive thought. So if you have a thought saying, I can't do this, chime in with another voice that says, yes, you can. Don't listen to that thought doubting you, because that's not you. That's your environment, all that conditioned thought patterns from your past. Reject it. I mean, there are times where if I catch myself doubting myself, I will literally tell that voice that was doubting me to F off. Like, I'll do that. I'll interject with a voice of my own that says, F off, I can do this. Or I'll even say, like, I'll prove you wrong. Like, that's where I'm at. I know it may sound crazy, but it's incredibly helpful for conquering negative thought patterns, because if you don't interject with a positive voice of your own, your negative thoughts can destroy you. They can run your life, and you're not going to be able to do much with them leading your decision making. So choose to reject them and bring in a new positive voice of your own. Remind yourself that you are lovable, you have good qualities to bring to the table. If you encounter someone who showers you with love and affection and makes you feel like you matter, that's because you actually do. They're not making it up. They're not, how do I put it? They're seeing something about you that you can't see yourself, but that doesn't mean that it isn't there just because you can't see it. If anything, you should listen to what they're saying, because this is someone who's noticing some aspect of you that is worthwhile and maybe even beautiful. Like, you shouldn't just take that in one ear and let it go out the other and think, no, I'm unlovable, it doesn't matter. No, this person is trying to enlighten you. They're trying to shine a mirror on you so you can see yourself in the way they see you, because your vision is clouded by all that negative thinking that you've had from growing up in an environment that wasn't helpful or healthy for you. So it's just so important to get to a place where you can realize you do matter and you are worthy of being loved. I really wish there was like a way I could help the whole world to hear this message, because it's so unfortunate how common this is. Like, it really does go back to just the education systems fail everyone because it doesn't teach people how to work on handling their emotions better, how to know when they're projecting their own insecurities on other people and whatnot, because so many people don't work on themselves, so that when they have kids, they raise broken kids, and it just creates these repeating cycles forever. And yeah, I really wish I could help like end those cycles permanently, because it's unfortunate to see, especially being in the place where I'm at, where I've been able to get myself to where I am today, but so few people seem to be able to do this as well. And it's just unfortunate. That's why I make these videos, because I want to help other people get here as well. And while my upbringing wasn't horrible, it wasn't like perfect either. Like, a lot of people think my family situation is way better than it actually is because they're assuming everyone in my family is like me, when that's not true. But still, like, at the same time, my parents didn't make my sister or I feel unlovable, thankfully. They did the best that they could, even though it wasn't perfect, but they did what they could to raise us well, and for the most part it did work. And whatever they failed at, my sister and I then picked up the slack and worked on ourselves, and we've been able to do a good job of it. But yeah, it's sad that the world is in this state so often, where we don't focus on helping people become better, helping them work on themselves, and helping the unlovable feel and know that they are worthy of being loved. But I'll step off my soapbox. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. I really hope that this has been helpful, because self-love really is the solution to feeling unlovable. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it anyway, right? Like, if you feel unlovable, then the solution is to love yourself. That's all there is to it. It's just trickier to do in practice. But hopefully you'll all make a commitment to yourself and start working on this, because it will make your life so much better. And then you'll stop being drawn to these people who treat you like crap, because that's not good for you at all. That will just destroy your life slowly over time. So you really want to get to a place where you no longer view those people as attractive at all, because they are not going to do you any favors at all. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!